Hi, I'm Mark Sullivan of Spruce Restaurant in San Francisco at the Culinary Institute of America in St. Helena, cooking on behalf of the United States Potato Board. Today I would like to show you how to make a traditional potato and Provencal vegetable tart. Here you have all the ingredients, all these beautiful ingredients. Traditionally this is a tart that you'd make in the late summertime. What I love about these vegetables, eggplant, sweet peppers, tomatoes, and zucchini, those four are a natural marriage. So here I have very traditional short crust pastry. This is a traditional dough. This is the 3-2-1 dough. Effectively 3 parts flour, 2 parts butter, and 1 part ice water. A little bit of salt to taste. I've rolled this out into a 9-inch tart mold. And you can see that the edges here are about raised maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch. I want this tart to be nice and full and plump. So I actually raise the dough a little bit over the edge of the tart. So the first layer here is the potato. What I want to do is I kind of want to just lay those down. What I would say is just scallop them. About 1 layer thick or so. If you want to go thicker, you can put in a second layer. Depending on how thick or thin you've cut these. You can vary the thickness with this as well. You can vary if you wanted to do a dice, you could do a dice and lay that down in the middle. So you can see this is getting nicely scalloped, covering the whole bottom of the tart here. Okay. The other thing I should tell you is go ahead and keep the skin on. The skin has a lot of nutritional value and it tastes great. So there's a nice layer of the potato here. Now it's seasoned, so I'm not going to add salt to that because I blanched it. I'm going to add a little bit of chopped rosemary. I like the rosemary and the potato here. And a little drizzle of olive oil, just to moisten that up. Now this tart, all these vegetables go on fairly dry, but when it bakes, it really caramelizes. All the flavors, they bubble up and the juices come out. The next layer that I'll do here is the eggplant, and I'll lay that in. Same idea, just scalloping that nicely. And when this cooks, it's all going to cook together. It'll cook into itself. So there's that eggplant. I'm going to put one more little piece right here. That one I'll season pretty generously with some salt. Okay. And again, some olive oil to just keep that nice and moist. And the next layer, we're going to do the bell pepper. So this is a pepper called a piquillo pepper. This pepper here has been charred. So you could char it on the grill, you could char it on an open flame, peeled, seeded. This is a sweet pepper. It's not spicy, but it's got a little bit of a smoky flavor. So we're going to just lay that layer of pepper down. What I love about this tart is when it's done, you see these nice striations, these nice layers of color, different colors, and of course all those flavors with the potatoes are just very luscious. We serve this, we'll serve this at brunch at Spruce or lunch with a nice salad. And it's just a really nice light way to eat, to utilize the potato and all these beautiful vegetables. It's very light. So we have the tomatoes, and I'll just season this very lightly with a little bit of salt, and I'll put this in a 200-degree convection oven for about 2 hours, and in so doing you end up with these like your own little oven-dried tomatoes. We've drawn out some of the moisture, and so the idea here is that I want to make sure that it is cooked through, but I don't want it to be flooding. I don't want it to be too moist so that you can actually cut it. So it's important that it's slightly dried. So I'll scallop those on here. And another little drizzle of the olive oil. And then they get a nice, beautiful green layer of the zucchini. I'm going to add a little more salt to this layer. Okay. And then we're going to get another layer here of the eggplant. That really soaks up all the flavor. And we'll drizzle a little more olive oil here and a little more salt. And finally, we have our last layer of the potatoes to finish the tart. And I'm going to actually add just a little rosemary, more rosemary down here. And you just do this in layers. So these potatoes, they basically soak up all the beautiful flavors of everything that's in there. So as this tart bakes and cooks and the juices are bubbling in there, the potatoes are accepting all those beautiful juices from the tomatoes, from the zucchini, from the eggplant, and the pepper. And they hold those, and also they give it some firmness. So if you were to put those vegetables in, it gives it a little bit of structure, so it actually holds the tart together. All right. So I'm going to press this a little bit, and a little bit more rosemary on top, okay, and a little bit more of the nice olive oil, and it's going to go in the oven. So normally what I would do with the tart like this is I would take it and I would put it in the fridge and let the crust chill again, because there's butter in there. So I would normally put this in for 30 minutes to let it chill out. But for our purposes, just to show you, we go straight to the oven, and we cook this at 350 degrees convection. Now, if you don't have a convection oven, you can raise the temperature about 50 degrees. So I would cook it 400 degrees in a still oven. So in it goes. Now this takes, this tart takes about 90 minutes. And what you really want to be checking for are two things. You want to make sure the crust is cooked all the way around and also on the bottom. A frequent mistake that people make when cooking a tart or a pie is everything else is cooked, the top looks cooked, but the bottom crust isn't cooked. So it's really important to take a knife, a small knife like this, dig into it, check it, make sure it's not gooey in the bottom. The other thing is you want to make sure all the vegetables are cooked. The eggplant especially is cooked through. I found that about 350 degrees with a convection oven, 90 minutes, you're going to have a great tart. So here I have the gold Yukon potato and Provencal vegetable tart. It's nicely rested, and now I'm ready to cut it and have a bite. You can see the layers. The pastry crust is cooked on the bottom. Nice layer of potato, that gold potato, the eggplant, the pepper, the tomato. You can see that nice striation in the middle. More eggplant, more potato to finish, lots of rosemary, nice olive oil. And here we have a beautiful slice of the tart ready to be served to a guest.